Welcome everybody, and go ahead and call the September 10, 2018 Miles County Democratic Party meeting to order. Please join me by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I hope everybody got a chance to have a copy of the minutes. If not, they are available on the table where Dolores is at. If you had a chance to get a copy of them and look over them, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion made and a second that we accept the minutes as submitted with any necessary correction. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. And Jim's ready to give us a financial report.
Alright. So we began the month with a total of $1,509. We ended the month with $965.09. Now I'm holding off on I'm holding these funds because we want to do slate cards. And so we're needing some money for the rent and for the cable bill, internet. So I'd like to, as usual, pass the hat and hope everybody can contribute. Thank you.
Like church, huh?
You betcha. I learned it from Floyd Rose.
Has the September rent been paid?
No.
Any comments for Jim on the financial report? Okay. Recognition of elected officials. I see Councilwoman Vivian Miller Cody is here, as well as Councilwoman Sandra Tooley. Am I missing anybody? Well, either one of you like to have anything to say?
No, sir. That's it.
Are there any Democratic candidates running for office here? Any candidates for office? Okay. James, going to give a election report.
Okay, we are now ramping up our election activity. This is now crunch time. Everybody's going to have to pitch in and get involved. Got a couple of things to remind you of. First of all, on the table, you will have found a mock-up of the slate card. The deadline to register to vote is going to be the first deadline that we need to be cognizant of. That's Tuesday, October the 9th. People can register to vote either by going to the Board of Elections office or by going online to the Secretary of State's website. So between now and October the 9th, get folks registered to vote. Early voting starts on Monday, October the 15th. It will go all that week during regular business hours, 8 to 5 at the Board of Elections. We will have Saturday voting at the end of that week, and Sunday voting as well. So we'll get souls for the polls on that Sunday. That's an important event. Early voting continues to the following week from 8 to 5. And then the second Saturday voting. So lots of opportunity to get people to the polls. We want to have as much early voting as possible because we want to get those votes in the bank and make sure that that people have voted and don't wait for the last minute. The last week of early voting, from October 29th to November the 2nd, the Board of Elections will be open from 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening. So extended hours on the last day, and then voting in precincts on Tuesday, November the 6th, and again, that's 7 to 7. You'll notice on the slate card, the list of candidates, starting with Stacey Abrams, governor at the top, Sarah Amico for lieutenant governor, and all the way down to county commission. We've got a slew of candidates, and we need to make sure that people go in, they can take these slate cards with them, and vote all the way down the ticket. Because what happened with the Obama elections, people went in, they voted for President Obama, and then they thought they'd done the job and they went home. And that's not doing the job. You really need to vote all the way up and down the ticket. So when you talk to people, we're running a coordinated campaign. A coordinated campaign means we are focusing on all of the candidates, not just the top, not just the bottom, but everything in between as well. So please make sure people know that. Yes?
Will there be any other flyers such as that for the candidates of different offices handed out or circulated in the community?
Yeah, what we're going to do is, we're talking a little bit about slate cards and getting those, but yes, we're going to have those available. Okay? That's all I've got for now on elections with dates, but let me come back to the slate cards and regards to the polls and that sort of thing. We'll come back to that. Okay.
Question back there. Jerome?
Yes, yes, sir. Mr. Anderson.
Give those dates out again. You said October the 9th was deadline to vote. October the 15th was, we don't have that here.
Okay. October the 9th is the deadline to register to vote. So that's the first important deadline we have. Make sure, talk to people, make sure they're registered to vote. Let me remind you, you can check, anybody can check if somebody is registered to vote by going to My Voter page, and that's mvp.sos.ga.gov. Go to My Voter page. Anybody can do this. Put in your name, do the drop-down menu for Lowndes County, put in the date of birth. What will come back on that is if the person is registered to vote, where they're registered to vote, and there's a link on there to a sample ballot so that people can click on that, download a sample ballot, see who all the candidates are on their ballot, and then go into the polling place prepared to vote from top to bottom. Very, very important. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Jim.
I just want to bring up how it is really, really important that people check their registrations. Kemp has been Secretary of State for a number of years now, and he has been in charge of purging the voter rolls. From what I understand, what I've heard, he has purged like 400,000 names. So it's really important that people check their registration way before time to vote. This is a standard tactic of Republicans throughout the country. It is a method of voter suppression, this whole, purging of the voting lists. And so it's really, really important that you tell your neighbors, your friends, everybody, check your registration. Make sure you are still registered. Because people in other places have not been able to vote because of it. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yes.
We have some mail that's being mailed out to young people that's 21 and up, concerning them voting by absentee ballot and etc. And these kids really are too young. You're supposed to vote absentee ballot when you get 65 or 55.
No, anybody can vote.
Anyone can vote absentee. Anyone.
Yeah.
But
For any reason.
I just don't want to confuse the kids, because the kids are thinking, the kids really want to vote. I really, I don't want to confuse them with, they get this in the mail, they're thinking it's a fraud, and then they don't vote at all.
Yeah, Georgia has early and absentee voting for any reason whatsoever. It used to be restricted for age.
I'll get it back to you later.
Okay, I'll give it back to you. Okay, one other thing before I let go on elections. We had elections last time, and I want to thank everyone who got elected. Let me quickly run through the roster of officers and committee members. J.D. Wise, James LaPlante, Gretchen, Jim, Tom Hochschild here. Okay. Dwight Rivas, Dwight. Ms. Tooley, Mr. Rayford.
Here.
Just take a minute to wave your hand so that people can see who your committee members are. Mr. Rayford, thank you. Ms. Miller-Cody.
Here I am, sir.
William Lamb.
Here.
Jeannie McGinn.
Here.
Thank you, Jeannie. Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Ready? Mr. Watton, Governor Lawton. Thank you. Greg Moore. Linda Dave.
Here.
Catherine Grant. Angela Green.
Here.
Thank you. Jim Parker. Thank you. John Porterum.
Here.
Constalina James.
Present.
James, thank you. Tina Valenti.
Here.
Thank you. Glenn Ritchie. Present. Gretchen Quarterman.
Here.
Clara Reed. Thank you. Lee Allen. Lonnie Pierce.
I'm here.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dennis. Membership, Vivian? Anything on membership?
Well, I'm working on it. Since we're doing things a little different now, I'm quite sure people will come and be a part now. I would love to get a list of the ones that joined last year that we brought in. And with possibly Mr. Parker, we could get a list of those. We have
New members or old?
no, all of them that we signed up some last year that came and then they stopped coming. They paid their membership dues. They came a couple of times and they didn't come anymore. What I would like to do is get a list and phone numbers of those people. I can call them and revamp and see what the problem is, and we can try to get them back in. Because our goal is to fill this room up with Democratic people. And I think outside the box. I feel that, don't shoot the messenger, I just feel that we should have a building that says Democratic Party. And if we get a lot of people, and she should have an office, if she's gonna work in an office, it shouldn't be down there to run borders. And you gotta walk in, everybody's in there, and they're looking at you, because I went down there today. Dr. Mark sent me down there today, and it was like I was coming in to rob someone, because you gotta explain what you do when you walk in the door. And I don't blame them for that. They're doing their job, because it is a building. But I feel that if we get enough members to join, and we all pay our membership dues, we can get an office. Mr. Dexter, Roger Bud, or somebody can give us an office for $350 a month, or etc. That we can have a file cabinet and a copy room and a copy, machine that we can go in. Like sometimes somebody might want to talk to the Democratic, myself or Pro Tem Tooley, or some of us. We can say meet us down at the Democratic office, and we can talk to those people one-on-one. So my goal is for from now on out, if possible, I'm asking each one of you to bring 2 guests when you come next month that's ready to join, ready to work, and we can get 2 members to bring 2 other people. Look how many we got in here today. If we all had brought 3 people, the room would be packed. And that's how we have to think. Membership is everybody, even though I have the title of getting membership. Membership is every one of us. If we work together, we can bring members in. But we all, again, we got to get on one accord. And today we are on one accord. And I can just say thank the President and Dr. Marks and Mr. Lewis and Ms. Quarterman and everybody in your places. We're doing things decent in order, and order brings about a change. And we want to turn Georgia blue. We got to work together and bring about a change. And every time you see on my Facebook, I got turn Georgia blue. I get some complaints back that's very nasty, but I don't let it stop me from saying turn Georgia blue.
Amen.
So you want year to date, like tomorrow's 9/11. So you want the 9/11/2017 people and all forward. That's the
Anybody you can bring that's want to be a Democratic member?
The list you was asking, Jim.
Oh, yes, I want the list.
From 9/11?
Yes.
17?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you got anybody that was after, since then, if you got that list, I need it. Because I drive and talk. I can't sit still because I'm a very hyper person, but if you can give me the names and numbers, I can talk to them while I'm moving.
Okay.
Because I don't sit behind the senator, pro tem and the mayor don't pay us to sit behind a desk. We have to be moving. Our desk is our car. So that's how we work.
Mr. Morris says the attendance rosters and she'll get those to you.
Yes, sir.
Because
Thank
3
you.
people just joined today.
All right.
Fantastic. You don't mind standing and staying. If you just
No,
go.
they're not here, they joined
I
today.
thought you were here. Okay, well, let's just
They
get that.
paid today.
That's it. You got that meeting. All right, James is not here on qualifying, and, these guys ain't on qualifying?
Yeah. The next qualifying is going to be for municipal elections. Municipal elections are in odd years, so qualifying for this year is finished. We're now running into elections, but qualifying for next year. If you want to run for public office, this is your opportunity to get in at the ground level. These are local elections. These are your friends and neighbors. Give very serious thought to running for public office. The other thing that you can do, Gretchen?
There's a vacancy on the Valdosta School Board right now they're soliciting candidates for, so if you're interested in serving on the Valdosta School Board, you should contact the superintendent.
I think it's District 2.
District 2.
Yeah.
We already have a person within the Democratic Party that has already applied for that. And if I'm not too forward, I think everything is green light. And he is a Democratic member, and he's here today, Mr. Wayne Thomas. And we all going to support him. Yeah, and he's retired military and retired from the post office.
Fantastic.
Absolutely, Mr. Thomas.
I know you prepared, right?
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm a candidate for the board. I'm in District 2. I'm out of District 2. I'm a retired military. I have a master's degree in human resource. And I've been attending the board meeting for about 6 months now, just sitting in and learning their procedures and whatnot. And again, I've already applied and let them know that I am interested. We have some issues in the Valdosta City School System. We're not getting the support that we need, but when there's problems, I see it. You know, parents complain and whatnot. We need to start getting parents involved. They need to start coming out and they need to start understanding what's going on with their children. So I don't have any children in the school system, but it's just something that my heart feels that I need to do to try to, you know, save some of our children. And I would appreciate any support you can give me. Yes, sir. Valdosta City School. Valdosta City School System. Yes. My name is Billy Thomas. Again, I'm known by Wayne Thomas, but my real name is Billy Thomas. Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been in Valdosta?
I was born and raised in Valdosta. I left Valdosta in 1979. I returned back here in '98 after retiring out of the military, and I've been here since. I'm a graduate of Valdosta State University with a bachelor's degree in sociology, and I also went to Moody Air Force Base, and I earned a dual master's in human resource and management and leadership. So, you know, I think I'm qualified, I think I'm prepared, and again, I like to reach out and help some of our young folks, and that's what, you know, that's my goal.
And you worked at the United States Post Office?
Yes, I recently retired from the United States Postal Service, So this letter, again, this letter that my brother gave me today, I saw that some markings on it that kind of alerted me. Somebody's doing something that's not right. And I don't know, again, this is not a first-class letter. And, you know, somebody's sending that stuff out, trying to disenfranchise and get people not, you know, not to do their, you know, right to vote. So be careful with stuff like this that's coming to your house. And like you said, check your voter, you know, roll to make sure that you're registered to vote properly. Because again, we want to turn Georgia blue.
You might want to address what are your feelings about helping the teachers, because the teachers need a lot of help because parents are not involved with their children. And I feel like the teachers need a lot of support to do their jobs. And a lot of times they have a lot of unnecessary paperwork and stuff that they must do to carry out their job, and therefore, you know, they've got too many things going on.
Understand.
Particularly
And
class size and all of this stuff.
You're correct. Teachers they actually spend a lot of time, effort, and their own money, you know, trying to educate our kids. And one of my goals is trying to get, I want to try to get parents involved and connect them with the teachers. If, you know, if we have parents and teachers to communicate more, I think it would make the teacher's job a little less stressful. I mean, there's going to always be problems, but we can kind of eliminate and cut down on some of those problems if we get the parents to come out and start supporting and understanding what the teachers are going through. I've got relatives that, you know, have kids in the school system and they don't get involved. And that's something that we've got to change. I mean, it's just not incumbent upon one person, but everybody needs to be involved because, again, these kids are going to be our future, and they're going to be doing things for us. We're getting ready. We're at the point now where, and again, I tell my friends all the time, I'm getting wisdom, and with wisdom, that means I'm getting older. So sooner or later, we're going to have to pass the baton to somebody else, and that somebody else is our kids. And again, like I said, I have no kids in the school system, but it's something that's important to me to make sure that every child, not just some, but every child has a fair shot at a good education.
Also, you have a sister and a brother-in-law that's retired school teachers out of the school system.
Yes, yes. So I do have educators within my family, and I talk to them a lot. My niece is an education over in the Brooks County school system. Again, and I've learned a lot from them. And like I say, teachers have a hard job to do. So we're just hoping that we can get in and help out some. Yes, sir.
Well, I guess my first question is whether I'm Ms. Cody, your campaign manager now.
Yes, I am.
She is. She is. I've been kind of reluctant about this, and again, I don't get up in front of people and speak very much. But she's been pushing me and telling me that this is something that I need to do.
The actual question that I have, though, I know that seat is vacant primarily because Miss can't remember her name.
That's a
So yeah, Miss Fluke has stepped down. So I'm assuming that this is not an elected post you're running for.
Well, what's going to happen is, again, Valdosta City School System right now they are soliciting personnel for out of District 2.
Okay.
The actual election to fill the actual vacancy will be next year.
Okay.
So she stepped down a year early, and so, you know, I've got to, like I say, I've already asked them to consider me. I haven't, you know, gained the seat yet.
Okay.
So my intent is to gain the seat. And once I've gained the seat, then I can run officially, because it's a 6-year term.
Okay. So now, if it is an appointed position, what's the
Vanessa, she appointed him.
So,
Ms. Vanessa is backing him.
Okay. So,
Thank you,
campaign manager. So if it is an appointed position, what can we, as members of the Democratic Party, do?
At this point,
They have,
just, you know, you can just speak to the superintendent. Again, they've taken nomination, and I'm not exactly sure when they're gonna make a decision. They appointed a 3-panel board member out the school board to solicit volunteers or whoever wants to run for that seat.
Yeah.
And I believe at the next board meeting, which is tomorrow, they will make a decision, or if not tomorrow, you know, maybe a week from now, but, you know, a month from now. But they meet twice a month. Usually it's the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. And usually it rotates to different places where they meet. Tomorrow they will be at the superintendent's office on William Street.
okay.
It's at 7 o'clock. And again, I plan to be there. And again, they will bring forth an agenda just like you do here. And they will, on that agenda, probably be time, you know, for recommendations to go in to the superintendent for who is to fill that seat.
Okay.
Now that seat has to be filled, it's in District 2. So it has to be somebody out of District 2.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay. I don't have any further questions. Thank you. Anything else?
And again, I appreciate you giving me time out to speak to you, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for putting yourself up there. Let me close out this section by reminding you that both the city and the county have boards and commissions. These are not elected positions, these are appointed positions by the city council and the county commission respectively. If you want to get involved, there are lots of opportunities to get involved. Please take a look at the city's web pages for the openings for boards and commissions, and likewise for the county. Ronnie.
I have one statement regarding that, Jim. The city does a great job of advertising their positions. I currently serve as a member of the airport authority, and I've been on there almost a year and a half now. But the county does a horrible job. I don't think the county sends out any notices, any vacancy announcements. I don't think the county takes an active role in securing citizens for those positions.
That's very true.
And I'm not sure if there's anything that we can do except contact the chairman, but they actually do a horrible job at that.
Keep talking to your county commissioners.
And the commissioners.
Yeah.
I think someone else had their hand up for a comment. Okay, yes, yes, ma'am.
Any openings in healthcare? I'm really interested in healthcare and promoting health here in our community.
Look at this. Look at the city's website. As Lonnie said, they excuse me. They really are good at listing openings.
Yeah.
I don't know, if I'm out of order, I'm sorry. I don't know when, I do know South Georgia Medical Center sometimes does have board openings, but do they advertise it?
When it's time for them, yeah, they do have one
Yeah.
on the hospital authority.
Yeah.
There's also one with the health department with public health down there, over there off of Vanna Avenue.
Yeah.
We appoint someone there during the time. I'm not sure when it's coming up for election yet.
Yeah, and I'd suggest also talking to Dr. Grove, who's in charge of public health.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Dennis. I just want to piggyback off of the candidate for school board just a moment before we move on, and let him know that first I appreciate you stepping forward to run for a school board, and you'll be commended for that. And one of the things I know we can do as a citizenry is to attend the school board meetings, and there is a slot on the agenda for citizens to be heard, and we can voice our opinion there that we support him for this position. And he said tomorrow night, it's a meeting. I don't know how many can make tomorrow night. Unfortunately, I got another commitment. I can't be there, but I can definitely make some phone calls to school board members and express my concerns and my support for him for that position. So I encourage all of us to do something. John, you have something?
What time of day is the school board meeting?
7 o'clock.
Oh, okay, so you could do both of these in the same day. The Lowndes County Commission regular session is tomorrow evening at 5:30. They also have citizens wishing to be heard, so if you wanted to, for example, ask them to recruit people for boards, that'd be a great time to go do that.
Okay, very good.
And the second thing I wanted to comment is that as a teacher at Dawson High School, I have over 160 students a day. And it is a daunting task to show 160 kids individual attention, and especially when you only have 55 minutes per class to do it, you still gotta do your subject matter. But a lot of our kids, too many of our kids, have some serious issues they're dealing with. Two approached me last week. One had ran away from home, and the other had been kicked out of the house. But they still came to school every day. So it's not like kids are terrible people. It's just they got some issues that need to be addressed. And if we got folks on the school board that's actively showing concern about the welfare of our children, that's going to go a long way. So anything we can do to support him, I think we need to do it. Moving on, report for the state convention. Dr. Tam, you have comments?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to preface this by saying it's about 3 minutes. I dictated the notes on my phone when I was at the convention, and it was my humble opportunity to serve you at the state convention. Opening was by DeVos Porter. The conference began at 10:15 a.m. Presentation of colors was done by Carver High School, the junior ROTC. Atlanta Children's Choir did the national anthem. I was impressed with them having someone to conduct sign language. Reverend Raphael Warnock spoke from Ephesians, and he stated to put on the full armor of God as you continue to fight for blue in the state. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms gave encouraging words. Credentials report was strong and resolute, and it was adopted. The Rules Committee report, Representative Al Williams nominated, and we voted and accepted former Mayor Shirley Franklin. The Atlanta Convention chair for us on that particular weekend. Rules Committee met by phone and had no changes for their bylaws. Rules were passed unanimously. There were approximately 12 caucuses, and apparently each delegate from this membership here tonight represented us very well. Stacey Abrams spoke at the caucus that I attended. She rallied the women and said, we want men to vote, but we know women get the job done. The report of Platforms Committee, they simply said, we want you to knock on doors for the coordinated campaign. They met by phone, but the cornerstones needs to be updated with voting rights and voting protection. Platform rules should be a living and breathing document. Bylaws change to be complete and ongoing. A year-round committee that will perfect these platforms will take place, and they'll reconvene in November 2019 with inclusions of all chairs of the caucuses to make viable changes. Tasks to be completed by December 2019. Public comments will be welcome, they said, and they expect the blue tide. Resolution Committee, 40 resolutions while updating all bylaws, and all must be properly vetted. 6 resolutions that included Medicaid expansion, support of public education, voter protection, election protection, and to build the economy and reaffirm our values and past President Obama. All 6 areas were accepted. Sanford Bishop stated that everyone must vote. We got to get the people out to vote. Hank Johnson reminded us of racism and anti-Semitism on the incline. We must disallow disenfranchised voters, he said. Hank was rapping a little bit, and he said something big is about to go down, and it's going to be Trump. He said, let's do it in Georgia. John Lewis, he said, fight the good fight. Vote early. Voting is powerful, and we must exercise our power. He said he moved here to Georgia in 1963 at the age of 23 years of age, and he said, I've seen unbelievable change. So he said, let's just do it. Statewide candidates, Don Randolph, we must do better. Lindy Miller, every Georgian can thrive. Richard Keatley, vote. Otha Thornton, every child despite their zip code must thrive in Georgia. Wraparound services and better pay for faculty and staff. Janice Laws, consumers do come first. Fred Swan, food access, invest in farmers. Charlie Bailey, protect Georgians versus special interests. John Barrow, fair elections to ensure citizens have the ability to vote. Sarah Riggs Amico, faith, she said, I believe because of Democrats, and she believed that she will win. Stacey Abrams concluded the afternoon. She spoke a lot about access. In my most humble opinion, she is a political rock star.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, 2018 elections, and we got the vote activities. Yard signs, Catherine Grant, Vivian Miller Cody. Anybody want to address that issue?
Ms. Grant is not here, the shop is not here. I'm not gonna walk up front this time. I know, President, I see you looking at me.
You was curious.
President, I'm sorry, I'm just being disobedient. I have 50 signs in route. I just texted him. I have a young man that's starting his own business, and he is allowing me to get signs on my face. And I am strictly about business when it comes down to my face on somebody else's board. What I've been doing is you purchase the signs from me, I give you the signs, and then you go out and do what you do with the signs. What I got a call today is that there's no signs in Lake Park, there's no signs in Brooks County. I think Waycross has quite a few signs. I didn't see any. My husband and I rode to Fitzgerald. We went the back way about 2 weekends ago, and all I saw was camp signs everywhere. From Valdosta to Fitzgerald, I saw one sign that says Stacey Abrams, and that set me on fire. So I started to try to recruit signs. Today I went down to with Dr. Marsh's permission, I went down to the office. I didn't bother you, Ms. Gretchen, because I figured you were still out of town. But I needed 10 signs like yesterday, and I couldn't even get 10 signs. So this young man now is promising to bring me 50. I told him I really needed 100, but I'm pushing him real hard. But I should have 50 before this evening is out, and hopefully I have 50 more for the next 2 days. The only thing I have is that my nice friend in the back, him and I think some Stacey Abrams people were in District 1 working real hard, and I'm so grateful for what they did in District 1. But a lot of people didn't understand what was going on because they figured District 1 belonged to Vivian Miller Cody. So they said, Ms. Cody, somebody's in your area doing this, and what do you know about it? And I didn't know about it. Not knocking what the person was doing, the thing is we all should have been on one accord. I should have been notified that there was a little office down there on 84 going east. And I went in, introduced myself, left my cards, and told the guy to continue. But if you go into somebody's District 1, 2, or 3, which is basically a dominantly African American area, you need to let the person know that's heading that area know you in that area. Just like I go to your house and go in your house and you're not home, you upset. I need to let you know I went in your home. That's the same thing with our districts. But again, the kids are doing a great job. I want them to keep doing what they're doing. Just don't give out no signs. Because what we're trying to do, and I'm going to let you guys know what we're doing with the signs. We're trying to flip the signs to be able to buy more signs. I don't think we have no millionaires in here like the Republicans do. I saw a good friend of mine out of Hahira. Oh, he raised his hand. I need to buy some signs. A good friend of mine out of Hahira, I'm not going to call his name, he bought over 300 signs to just give out of this person to this man that's running. So he could afford to do that. Can we afford to buy signs like that and just give them out? No. So what we're doing is we're selling the signs for $10, okay? The young man get $5, and the other $5 we're going to give back. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am, excuse me. You know of anybody that's selling signs for $6? Because the person that wanted to buy some signs from me,
Now, if they get them from me and they do it illegal,
somebody set
they need to
aside
let me know
$6.
so I can bust that joke. But,
Somebody set aside for $6.
they doing it online, you
No.
think?
No.
Yeah, they're doing it online for $6.
Yeah, but we're doing mine for 10, and 5 go to the person that is making the signs, and the other $5, we trying to flip it to buy more signs. Once we get enough signs out, we're gonna take that same money and try to help Dr. Marks buy those slate cards. And if we can get all that done with doing this, and if you all work with us with this young man, we can get some signs out. Now, Mr. Pelleton on Cypress Street, he want his money when he deliver his sign. I bought signs for him. He don't give you signs on your face. I don't care how much you smile and show your left leg or your right leg. He want his money. But this young man is trying to start his business out, and we're trying to help him. Now, I see those nice Stacey Abrams t-shirts back there, but I think that's a great idea, but y'all want to do signs or y'all want to do t-shirts?
Signs.
Okay. So I just texted him, when I was walking in the building today, he said he was the only way, and he's driving from Waycross here. He's setting up a business here, but he has not got it completed up here, but he's trying real hard. And his dad is a previous police officer here from Valdosta, and he's a well-known person in the African-American community. So, again, I should have 50 signs. Yes, sir, Mr. Sir.
So when people ask for Stacey Abrams signs, who should they contact?
What's on this sheet is said Catherine Grant, Vivian Cody, and Dexter Sharper. Those are the 3.
Okay, can you give me contact information so I can stick that on the Lowndes County Democratic Party blog?
My contact is my phone number that everybody have, and I never hide my phone from anything from day one.
I don't know what it is, so could you please?
229-630-0098.
Thank you. After you're finished, could we transaction?
John, them all on the list.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Phillips, may I ask you a question
Yes,
now?
sir.
These individuals that were in your district, what were they doing? Were they canvassing?
What they're doing out is they're canvassing the park. They're canvassing doing what we should be doing. He's reaching out to young people to help him do it. He's
You
going
talking
to
about Ryan Mintz?
No, that's actually, you're referring to the Stacey Abrams for Governor group. I'm actually the coordinated campaign.
There you are.
Yeah, this is a Stacey Abrams group that's doing that. And they going door to door in District 1. From my understanding, they were told that District 1 is the largest area for voting in this area. So they're really working in the African American area, which is District 1. And if we can all work together, we can accomplish this. And if anybody got any ideas, I'll work with you. But we just need to get some signs out. I heard this saying, what Mr. Rayford tell me, signs don't vote, but signs do get attention.
Yes.
But that's something that I was told when I was running. Signs don't vote, but signs do get attention.
Yes.
So the more signs we get out, the more attention we have. So work with me to work with this young man, because I don't have the $350 to pay Mr. Pelleton. Now, if anybody have the money to go pay him for 100 signs or 200 signs, and then we help get your money back that way, you do yours and I do it my way, and we all work together. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see Tom Hochschild or Dexter Sharper. You will just give a report from the following station?
The Stacey Abrams event on campus went very, very well. It was an overflow crowd, filled the auditorium and as many again outside. So very, very successful. We're trying to get Ms. Abrams to come back to Lowndes County, working through the college Democrats. Dr. Hochschild is the faculty advisor for the college Democrats. He was the one starting at the beginning of the summer to get Ms. Abrams down here. So he is working to get her back. Dexter and Ms. Abrams work in the legislature together, so he is working to that end as well. The plan is to have 2 events on when she comes back, one on campus to get young people to vote, and one at the New Life Church to get the entire community engaged. So we're working on that. Let me say something further about the slate cards. The slate cards in the past, we have mailed we printed 10,000, we've mailed 7,500 of those into Democratic households so that people who normally vote Democratic are going to get out and vote for the whole ticket, and we've used the remainder for canvassing. Printing them is about $600, but the postage for mailing them out is $2,400. We do not have $3,000 at hand at this point. We will start, therefore, by distributing the slate cards online. So the slate cards that you saw printing copies of up here on the table, each of those names is actually a hot link to that candidate's website. So when it's online, you can just click through, find out what the candidate stands for, and just print out the material online. Take that to your voting place with you. So at this point, that's going to be available electronically. The other thing we need to do in terms of getting ready for the elections are poll workers, poll watchers, and rides to the polls. Let me take those one by one. Poll workers are people who work for the Board of Elections and who get paid to work. If you're interested in being a poll worker, and they need more poll workers, if you're interested in being a poll worker, please pick up the application form on the table here. If you're a veteran, there's a special application form and special handling for veterans. So if you're a poll worker, please grab the appropriate, if you want to be a poll worker, please grab the appropriate application form. Poll watchers are volunteers who are acting on behalf of the Democratic Party. And what we do with poll watchers is you'll be assigned to a polling place, or you may be assigned to more than one polling place. A number of you have done this in the past. You go, you watch what is happening. You are a polling watcher. You make sure that everything is going smoothly. If something is not going smoothly, we'll give you the procedure for contacting someone to report that back. We need poll watchers in every precinct. There's a sign-up sheet that says voter protection. This is a critical way to help protect the vote and make sure that everybody who wants to vote has the opportunity to vote. So please sign up to be a poll watcher, and we will have a training session for poll watchers 9 o'clock Saturday morning, October the 13th. That should last no more than an hour. So sign up to be a poll watcher and put the training session on your calendar. And finally, rides to the polls. We provide rides to the polls. Again, we've got a list of people who have provided rides to the polls in the past. We need to update that list. We need more folks providing rides to the polls. There's again a sign-up sheet right here at the front. These are ways that you can be involved in making sure that people have the opportunity to vote. This is what you can do to make this election an election that has an impact. So please, if you would, sign up to be a poll worker if you'd like to do that, a poll watcher, or to provide rides to the polls. And finally, in terms of getting out the vote, the other thing we need to be doing is contacting people, canvassing, and phone banking. Let me call on Ryan Mintz, who's heading up the Office for the Coordinated Campaign. And notice what Ryan said, coordinated campaign. That means all of the Democrats from the top of the ticket on down. So let me turn things over to Ryan to talk about what needs to be done.
So actually, first I did want to address, there were some concerns about mail-in ballots earlier. This phone number is being manned by the Democratic Party of Georgia. It's Voter Protection Hotline. So if there is any issue that you are worried about or have questions about, this line will be manned by attorneys who are volunteering on behalf of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Also, if you hear of anyone getting turned away from polls or who tries to register who's not allowed to register, give this number a call, and they'll take care of it.
Can you read the number out, please?
It is 1-888-730-0000. 5816. And I'll go ahead and leave this posted up here if anyone wants to get it afterwards. So I would actually like to welcome, when I first got here, we only had 3 paid staff for the entire region of Southwest Georgia. We now have 6 paid staff and also 7 part-time staff. And 4 of them are here tonight, so I'd like y'all to come on up and introduce yourselves. So Gerald is actually helping us out in Valdosta, Tifton, and Moultrie. And Heather, Summer, and Talia are all working in Valdosta, so they'll be manning our events. And if you guys want to give a quick update on the campaign.
Yes. Hi, Gerald Green. Nice meeting all y'all. I just wanted to say that this, the focus of this campaign is to really get out the vote as much as we can. We know that in Valdosta, Georgia, there are around 20,000 registered Democrats that have not voted from, like, let's say around the time of Obama, or probably in the 2016 election. So the focus of this campaign is to really hit each and every one of those doors at least twice in order to get that vote out.
Hi, my name is Summer Mason, and we're currently 57 days away from Election Day. And some of you guys might have seen the recent poll that came out for governor's race, and Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp are tied 45 and 45. This is the first time in a very long time that there's been a statewide election that's been this competitive. So we know that we can win. We know that we can elect a governor who wants to strengthen public education, who wants to expand Medicaid across the state of Georgia, and who wants to support small businesses statewide.
And for us, that's why it's so important. We're doing canvassing and we're doing phone banking. We really need people and faces so that as we're touching people in the community, they can see other people. Maybe they've recognized you before, they've seen you somewhere else. And they can actually see your face at their door and see that they're not alone. Because, like Gerald said, we do have 20,000 Democratic voters, but in this room, we've got 30 people here. So I don't know about you guys, but when you're out in the community, you kind of feel isolated in this environment. And helping those voters to see that they're not alone and that there are other people that share their same ideals and beliefs is very important to get them motivated to actually take that step and vote. So we're asking that each and every one of you volunteer 2 hours. So 2 hours for canvassing or 2 hours for phone banking. We have 8 weekends until the election. So if you can volunteer 2 hours with us, then we can actually get in touch with more people and actually get closer to where we need to be to hit the doors twice, like what Gerald was saying. So we do canvassing and phone banking 4 days throughout the week. So on Tuesday and Thursday evening, we're doing a 4 to 8 shift. So a 2-hour shift would be 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 or anything along in that time. And then on the weekend, we're doing Saturday and Sunday shifts. So Saturday, we start at 10, we're 10 to 6, and Sunday, we're 12 to 6. So who is willing to make that commitment to give us 2 hours of your time over the next 8 weeks? Show of hands. Awesome. We have some,
Every Sunday.
we have some sheets here. We have some sheets here. I'm going to pass these around.
Order, please, order.
And if you can, please, give us your contact info and sign up. That way we can get in touch with you and we can arrange. If you know the time that you can volunteer with us, please select it. And if not, if you're unsure, just let us know. We also, because we're trying to hit specific doors, we can split up our turfs and give you access to voter data so that you can, on your own time, orchestrate a canvassing shift or do phone banking. We know lots of times, especially if you're working a full-time job, it's difficult to find a period of even 2 minutes to yourself, much less 2 hours. So we ask that you communicate with us so that we can help you to be able to help us.
What about, have you all canvassed inside the different churches?
So we actually cannot canvass
You
within
can't
the
go,
churches.
I'm talking like if you were my guest at a particular church.
Right. I would encourage people who are in various communities throughout Valdosta to reach out to their friends and families and the people that they meet with on a regular basis to do that. We're not allowed to canvass inside of them. We could canvass on the outside for data purposes. We prefer to go house to house so that way when we hit someone, we know it because we're going to go to their house anyway. And we are the coordinated campaign, so we've started working with a couple of local candidates. But we are able to, volunteers are able to pass out materials for a variety of Democrats across the state of Georgia. So if you're canvassing on your own for something, but you're interested in also helping us out, we can go ahead and we can cut that territory for you and give you the data and share your materials as well as our materials in those areas. Yeah, Angela.
Repeat the time for the during the week volunteering.
So during the week we have Tuesday and Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. And if there's another night of the week you're available, I may or may not be in the office at that time, but we're able to give out materials. So if you can reach out to me, and I'll share my number again before I sit down. You can reach out to me, and then I can pass along that data to you so that you can do it on your own time. John.
So when you say you can pass out other materials, when Dr. Marks has those slate cards ready, can you also pass them out while you're canvassing?
So my canvassers can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I know a lot of times like non-profit organizations, they cannot like say support or endorse their candidate, but could they, what about say the Democratic Party, could they like pass out data for that?
So I work directly for the coordinated campaign, so I have some limits on what I can do. Our part-time staff as well as volunteers, they're able to pass out information. They're able to do those things. So if you'd like to talk about something, you can ask me about it. And if it's not something that I can do, some of our volunteers and interns may be able to do that for you. Okay, thank you very much. And I hope to see you guys out there. It's from 1008 Slater Street, so it's from the Lowndes County offices that we are meeting.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, guys. All right,
the voter protection number that Ryan just gave out is the 800-888 number that is in this flyer that you got in the mail. This indeed is coming not from the coordinated campaign, but from the Stacey Abrams for governor. In past elections, Republicans have had enough money to put these things out. This is the first time that Ms. Abrams has raised enough money that she's putting these out statewide. So these are going to mailboxes, and people can fill this out, send it back in. This is an application for an absentee ballot. It's an application for an absentee ballot. And again, anyone can vote absentee for any reason in the state of Georgia.
thank you, Dennis. Another thing that I wanted to just bring to everybody's attention is that poll watchers is critical. Because sometimes folks get disenfranchised when they go to a precinct to vote, and their precinct has moved, and they've been told they can't vote in their precinct because their precinct has moved. That's not true. You can vote in any precinct. You may have to vote on what's called a provisional ballot, but you still can vote. So don't let people tell you, or don't let other folks tell people that they precinct is moved and they can't vote, and whatever precinct they go to, that's not true. You can vote in any precinct you want. You just have to vote provisional if it's not your correct precinct. Jim?
What happens to that provisional ballot once it is cast?
What happens with the provisional ballot is it goes back to the Board of Elections office, and the way that it's cast is you cast the ballot on paper, and you insert it in an envelope. From the outside of the envelope, write down your name and address and all of that voter information. The Board of Elections then has 3 days to verify whether that person is indeed registered to vote in any precinct. And the ballot that you will have been given is the ballot for the correct precinct, no matter which precinct you show up in.